Welcome to our first Hisspace for 2022. This year is all about empowering men, developing sons, uncles. Because if I look at the room right now, we have different backgrounds. Some of us are fathers, some of us are uncles, brothers, nephews, sons. So this year is just developing men in the area of relationships. There is a saying, if a man gets better, everyone gets better. Okay, if a man gets better, everyone gets better. Our sons gets better, our daughters gets better, our nephew, our home gets better. So when a son, now I did not say that we're gonna be perfect, but I did say better. And that's what we're gonna do. So our theme this year is the next level in this area of relationship. Since COVID, not only domestic violence went higher, but relationship at home, okay? Relationship at home is just, it's just going downhill. Now, when I'm talking about relationship, I'm not only talking about a husband to a wife, a girlfriend to a boyfriend, but I'm talking about any kind of relationship. I'm talking about relationship as a father to a son to a father, a daughter to a father, a mother to and a business partner. I'm talking about any kind of relationships. So this year, our first topic for tonight is transparency in relationship. Okay, transparency in relationship. So this year we're going to be hitting topics like fear in relationship. So that's going to be the next topic. Okay, we're going to be hitting topics like boundaries in relationship, freedom in relationship, values in relationship, and so much more. But tonight, our topic tonight is transparency in relationship. So we're gonna dive in. Now, normally what we do here in Hisspace since last year, I'm not here just to talk to you and give you the answers, and it doesn't work like that. We are here to educate each other, okay? You're not here just to listen from me, because if you look in the room, you have brothers in this room have so much gold, so much experience that they went through, they can help us in this area of relationship. So the first question, now I'm gonna put it into 3 parts tonight. The first part is, what is transparency? The second one is, what are the root causes for lacking of transparency? And then the last question is, why does transparency matter in a relationship? Okay, so the first question is this: what is transparency to you? Now, I'm going to give you just 1 minute in your groups of 2 or 3. Turn around to the person next to you. I want to give you 1 minute just to dive into this question. What is transparency to you? Okay, 1 minute, and we'll come back and share some answers. Go for it. Okay. So what is transparency? What is transparency? What is your view? Let's throw some answers. Honesty. Man. Okay. Anyone else? Honesty. Vulnerability. Wow. Vulnerability. Now, that's going to be in the next, on the month of May, we're going to bring our ladies. We're going to bring the queens. We're going to bring our girls. We're going to bring our wives, our girlfriends in here. We're gonna unpack this word vulnerability, because vulnerability to them is different from us. Okay, when they see vulnerability, to them it's like a whole new world. To us, it's like, oh well, it's just nothing. It's simple, right? So, and that's why I'm glad you put that word vulnerability. Anyone else? So, got honesty, vulnerability, authentic. Love that. Anyone else? Truth. That hurts. Truth. Anyone else? Being real. I like that. Now, I'm just gonna quickly guess you're heading the same direction. Now, all your answers bang on, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for also those in little groups. But I'm just gonna add to what you have so far. So I came across transparency to me is allowing light, just like what Kiala mentioned, allowing light to pass through so that objects behind can be clearly seen. Okay, so allowing light to pass through so that objects behind can be clearly seen. Now I have a little demo here. Now, I forgot to bring a glass, but this is the closest thing. Now, the glass, this little container, you can see through it, right? So this is you in a relationship. This is you. Allowing light. Now, if I have my light on my phone, see if I can turn it on. So if I turn the lights off, and I shine this light through there, do you think it's going to go through? Do you think it's going to go through there? Yes. Obviously, why? Why is that? It's clear, right? So transparency in a relationship is allowing light. So the light is the other person in that relationship with you. So you're allowing that person to see through you. So objects behind here can be clearly seen. That's transparency. So transparency is like your transparency, you're allowing people to see through you. So transparency as well is just like it sounds. You're honest with other people with your feelings and your thoughts. You're sharing information with that person in that relationship. Yeah, because just looking at the meaning of transparency, it's deep because you're allowing people to see through you. Now, there is the difference between transparency and vulnerability. There's totally different things. And that's why on May, we're going to have the ladies here, and then we can dive into that because I can't wait for the month of May. Cool. Okay, the next question. Next question is, what are the root causes for lacking transparency? What are the root causes for lacking transparency? I want to give you another minute to your groups next to you and just dive into it. Man, one of the root causes that I came across to when I was just looking at this question here is the low self-esteem. Low self-esteem, because when we have a low self-esteem, we tend to we want to be likable as a man. Okay, I'm talking about in the area of relationship. So when we have low self-worth, we like to be likable. So we want to impress people. We want to impress our wife, our girlfriend, our business partners, our fathers, our sons. We want to impress. We want to please people. But because we want to please people, we don't want to be truthful and transparent. It's because we're trying to avoid consequences. What are the consequences? The consequences is because she might reject me. She might push me away. Okay? They might not like me now. You know. So it's better for me just to lie and not be transparent. One thing I came across is, and they know. So check this out. Like, because low self-esteem that you have. Now, low self-esteem is not. It doesn't just happen out of nowhere. You don't wake up in the morning and say to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna wear low self-esteem today. No, it does not happen. Low self-esteem can come from no values and no worth. And no values and no worth came from as a result of situations and events and influence that happened to you in your childhood experience. Okay? And because of that, we develop, and because of what happens, so you got events and circumstances that happen in your past, if some of them are toxic and so negative, because of the result of that, it ends to you become low self-esteem. You have a low self-esteem inside of you. And the reason why we have this, so when we have these kind of influence, somehow you develop a negative opinion about yourself. So when it comes to transparent, you don't want to be transparent because again, you're trying to avoid the consequences. What happened is negative opinion develop because of the past event or circumstances leads to prediction of yourself. You said, oh, nah, I want people to like me, not to reject me. So therefore, I'm not willing to be transparent. And when that happens, we're not going anywhere in relationships. Yeah, heaps. And that's why, like, I remember saying in the beginning of our Hisspace last year, one night is not enough time to break everything down. Because it's a massive, even transparent, it would take a year just to talk about transparent and the root causes for lacking of transparent. Because the root cause of lacking is not just one root cause. There's so many, like what the brother was saying. Finance, or it could be someone or your dad died, passed away years, and you're still holding on to that shame and that guilt that developed from that childhood experience. It can be an abusive home that you grew up with. Okay? It can be emotional abuse. It can be spiritual abuse in the church. It can be sexual abuse. All of that adds to low self-esteem. That's why I say low self-esteem, the root cause of low self-esteem is massive. It's not just a no worth and no value. There's more than that. But because of the sake of our time, we can only bring up few things so we can have an understanding. Because his space is all about just educating and understanding because this is all about mental health. Lacking of transparent is mental health issue. Because when we can't be transparent with people in that relationship, who are we going to be transparent with? Ourselves. And guess what happened? That's where suicide, depression, anxiety. But, that's why we have spaces like this, that we can come together and share. Cool. Okay. Now, the next question, our last question. Okay. I told you, I want to go quick because I know you're hungry and when you go home to your wife, I want to go back to my wife. Okay. Now, the last question is why, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time here because I'm just going to share with you what works for me. I cannot sit here and give you a textbook, something that I read from whatever university, whatever it is, because it does not work for me. I'm just going to give you what works for me, and then it's up to you. Is that okay? The question is, why does transparency matter in relationships? Okay, so turn to your group again. I'll give you 1 minute, and let's go. I like that. Yeah, I wish because I think coming back to the root cause again, I didn't know how to be transparent because I've never seen what transparent is in my home. I didn't know what it because I don't see mom and dad transparent. So therefore, I'm like, so when I got married, I remember my wife is the opposite. She was like open, she was like bam, 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 transparent. I'm like, and she was waiting for me to be transparent. And then she's like, what's wrong with you? I said, I just want to have sex. But it's just the honest truth. It's just like, I didn't know how to be I can only be transparent when it comes to sex, but when it comes to a normal conversation with my wife, I can't. Because I didn't know how to do it. So, thank you. Can we just put our hands together for all those to share? Awesome. I'm just going to share 3 things why transparent matter in relationship to me. So number 1 is what I have is transparency is a suspicion eliminator. Okay? Transparency is a suspicion eliminator. Now, what is the meaning of the word suspicion to your view? Sus. What is your definition of suspicion? Second guess? Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Oh, you hit it, bro. You hit it. Now, the first meaning I came across, the meaning of suspicion is the act or an instant of suspecting something wrong without proof. In other words, mistrust. Now, if we can just look at this, and let's be honest here, if you can look at right here, I believe this is one of the issues that we have in a relationship. Something that has got no proof. There's no evidence of it. Mistrust. I love what you said, mistrust. So the second meaning I came across, the word suspicion, it means a state of mental uneasiness and uncertainty. In other words, doubt. So transparency eliminates mistrust and doubt. Can I say that again? Transparency eliminates mistrust and doubt in the relationship. So when you have mistrust and doubt in the relationship, with your partner, with your wife, with your son, with your daughter, with your business partner, it means that you have a cancer relationship. I know, that was my response. For the last month preparing for this, I said, wow, I've got so many cancer relationships because of mistrust and doubt. So suspicion is a cancer relationship. If we want to kill the progress and the growth and the momentum in the relationship, just let suspicion grow and you watch trust fade. If you want to kill that relationship, just allow suspicion to grow and you watch trust will fade. So that's why when we as leaders, and when I say leaders, because I believe every single one of us is sitting in this room, I don't care what background or what color, what culture, what darkness you've been through, I believe that every single man that is sitting in this place right here is a leader. So when we as leaders and leaders to come, the next generation, when we lose the trust of our sons, of our daughters, of our business partner, we lose the ability to lead. All because of mistrust and doubt. We lose the ability to lead. See, secrecy, when you have a secrecy breeds suspicion. Okay? Let me say that again. Secrecy breeds suspicion. Transparency breeds trust. You can see the difference. Let me repeat that again. Secrecy breeds suspicion. Transparency breeds trust in that relationship. So one of the most common places where we see suspicion creeps in our relationship is when we don't tell the truth. I can testify because for all my marriage life, for the first 5-10 years of my marriage, it was built upon lies. Because I was afraid. We need to tell the truth. Now, I know there is a truth on that. Sometimes the reason why we can't be honest, we can't tell the truth to our partner, is because they can't handle our transparency. Are you following what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what we need to tell the truth. See, now I say to my wife, honey, I say to people, I rather have my wife hating me for telling the truth than her hating me for lying about the truth. So let you pay the consequences later. I'll worry about the consequences later. If I have to sleep on the next room for the next week or so, let it be. Because see, I rather because my hands are clean. My hands are clean. So I'd rather my wife hating me for telling the truth than her hating me for lying about the truth. So that's why in the month of May, we're going to bring the ladies here. We're going to have a nice conversation. They're going to have on one side, or we're going to be on this side, or we're going to debate. We're going to a healthy debate because sometimes, like, let's be real, like sometimes it's nice to have them in the room so we can have a fair idea what is going in their head. And so they can look at our view and say, okay, what is going in your head? And if we can have that, because remember, this is all about us educating each other. And it's a healthy. Make sure you say your prayers before you come that night. But see, the other thing is more like, I'm talking about like how important transparent is. We all have failures. Is that true? We all have, and as a man, we don't like to talk about failures because, nah, man, I got my job, I earn this much money. I don't want to talk about failures. Especially when it comes to relationship, we don't want to talk about failures. I mean, let's be honest here. Just because you were a player back in the days, it doesn't mean that you have game. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have game because we still have. Okay, we go through failures in life. But here's what I come across. See, a failure that is wrongly treated, it will always be a trust killer. Can I say that again? A failure that is handled poorly, it will always be a trust killer. But a failure that is that's led through honesty, integrity, and truthful, it can be a trust builder. Transparent. The second thing why I believe transparency is so important is transparency is a trust builder. Okay? Transparency is a trust builder. The key to successful relationship is influence, not authority. Because as a man, we like to be authority. Okay, I'm a Samoan. Okay, my parents, my dad, my dad is watching right now. Hi, Dad. And now he's gonna be. See, I'm just gonna be vulnerable here. For the last 2 months, me and my dad, our relationship is crazy. When me and him, we're going for 1 hour. We talk about topics like we're breaking cycles. Me and my dad is having an awesome relationship now because we're able to identify stuff and break it transparent. Me and my dad, we're transparent. And that's the kind of relationship that I'm looking forward to for the rest of this year. I don't know about you, but I want that for every single one of us. Because I'm tired of hearing suicide, I'm tired of hearing depression. Yes, of course we're gonna have depression and anxiety, but how are you gonna control it? You can't change it. The only thing that you can change is the way you react to it. That's what we can change. Transparent is so important. So influence. Transparent is influence, not authority. What is the difference between influence and authority? An authority person is like a boss, acts like a boss. What does a boss do? A boss drives with authority. Like, I'm the boss. Like it or not, you do what I do. You just do, you just listen. I don't know about you, I don't want to be in that kind of relationship. Authority. An influent person is a leader that leads inspired with trust. I came across this statement here. It was a man by the name of Maxwell. He's massive in leadership. And the reason why I'm talking about leadership here, because every single one of us here is a leader. He said, a true leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It only comes from influence. And influence cannot be mandated. It must be earned. I don't know about you, but I want to be in a relationship transparent. I want to have a transparent relationship that is leading by influence, not authority. That's what I did in my relationship with my wife. I did exactly the same thing with my marriage. Oh no, you do this, you cook that, and I'll just come and eat. Authority. And then what my wife said, I'm so glad that you are able to identify that early, otherwise we'll be divorced by now. She put her foot down and said, if you're gonna keep going with that authority kind of attitude, this marriage will never work. We need to be together in this transparent. Then the last point, why transparent matters to me, is transparency is a relational unifier. Transparency is a relational unifier. It unifies and bonds a relationship. Do we all agree? It unifies and bonds a relationship. This is one of the biggest missed opportunity for some men because we wrongly believe that people's gonna love me, people's gonna appreciate me, people's gonna respect me, as long as I'm still strong and wise and confident. But here's what I want you to know. I want you to understand this. People are still gonna love you, people are still gonna appreciate, people are still gonna respect you, people are still gonna follow you, but more if you're not just an authority person, but if you are a regular, everyday person. I came across, there's a little phrase, people may admire you for your strength, but they connect with you through your weaknesses. But somehow, we don't want to show our weaknesses because again, we're afraid or maybe something that happened in your childhood experience. People want to connect with a real person, not someone that just dictates. So you see, if you are carrying problems alone, what do you have? What did you say? More problems, right? Now just think about it. I want you just to think about it because I'm going somewhere. If you have problems, like if you're carrying problems alone, what do you have? Stress. What you have only you and your mind sorting out your own problems. Now let me ask you, do you go far? How far do you and I can go? Not far, right? But if we are transparent, we engage the minds of our community around us. What is our community? I'm talking about your son. I'm talking about your brother. I'm talking about your wife. I'm talking about your partner. I'm talking about your business partner. And when you engage them, then you have more brains for solutions to the problem. And here's another thing. This is what I found for the last year. When I engage people to help me with problems, especially the relationship that I'm in, like with my son, when I engage my son, when I engage my wife, when I engage like Kiala and them, my friends that are close, and Nick, when I engage these people, guess what happened? These people, my son feels like he's not working for me, but he's working with me. He's working with me. We're working together. We're working together, sorting out these things, adding ideas for the problem. So now it's not just you and your mind, it's not just you and your brain, you have other people now contribute to the problem. I don't know about you, but I think we need to look at this transparent in relationship. And we need to ask questions. Where are you with your transparent in that relationship? Because again, it's another year, another struggle. I'm just going to be real. I don't know about you. How was your Monday? Someone was shaking head. Another Monday, another scratch, another hustle. Because tomorrow is another day. It's another day. And that's why we were committed. Us and the team, the Hisspace team, committed. We don't get paid for this. Nick doesn't get paid for this. He wastes his power just to come for us. I'm just being real. Why? It's because we understand the quality of what we offer here. It's a need. It's a need for the world that we live in. Transparent. I want to say this. See, relationship is not a group of people who work together. Relationship is a group of people who trust each other. How? Transparent. Transparent. Now here's some reflection questions for us tonight. And this is a personal, you can write on your phone. The question is, how transparent are you in your relationship? Now what I mean by your relationship, whatever relationship you're in, it could be your girlfriend, it could be your son, it could be your daughter, it could be your business partner, whatever it is. The scale from 1 to 10, 1 is worse, 10 is excellent, okay? Scale to 1 to 10, how transparent are you in your relationship? Okay, I'll quickly give you like just 15 seconds to do it, and then I'll give you the second question. Go for it. Yeah? So remember, scale from 1 to 10, scales from 1 to 10. And part of that question as well is that relationship that you're in right now, like, you know, girlfriend or whatever, boyfriend, or if you have a boyfriend, whatever it is, can relate to that question. So the second question, why are you still talking? The second question that says, how do you think your partner, son, daughter, father, wife, mom will score you on your transparency? So I'm going to flip that. Okay, how do you think your partner or whoever that in that relationship will score your transparency? Okay. I know you want to carry on, talk, but we can talk after, okay? We can talk after. We got some food at the back there, so we can catch up. But if you look at those numbers, if the number is lower in that relationship, you need to make some changes. You have to make some changes. Don't just come here another night, another hype. You have to make some changes. Even if it's just one change, let it be. We're not looking for 10, 20, just that one little bit. Another thing, like transparent, there is an emotional connection that takes place. Now, I love sex. I don't know if you love sex. If you don't love sex, we hate you. I don't know, man. I'm talking about the married man, okay? I love sex. And get me out. When we're transparent with my wife, the emotional connection just takes to another level. And man, the intimacy, is off the hook. I'm just being real. Because of transparent. Now, I'm not a master of transparent. I'm still learning, just like we are all learning every single day. But let's improve on transparent. Now, here's the take before Brother Ray comes and share his testimony on transparent. Above all else, be truthful and transparent cannot take place if you cannot transparent and be truthful to yourself. I like to be, and I said to my wife, when I saw this, I was like, wow, I'm willing to be transparent with other people, but when I look at the mirror, it was difficult for me to be transparent about myself. And maybe that's something that you need to work on for this year. Let's forget about our titles, forget about the money that will come in the bank account, forget about your whatever it is that that you have, your career. But let's just sit back and just ask that question: am I transparent about myself? Because if we can be real with us, if you can be real with you, with your own transparent, then that relationship that you're trying to restore, that you're trying to build, will become more powerful. When there is transparent, there is freedom. And when there's freedom, there is power.